History does not disappear all at once. It erodes, piece by piece, voice by voice, until one day, nothing remains but interpretation. Donna Presley speaks while there is still time.
Hello everyone, I'm Donna Presley and I'd like to welcome you to the Donna Presley official YouTube channel. When Graceland loses a little more of itself, there will come a time, and it is approaching more quickly than many realize, when no one who lived with Elvis Presley as part of daily family life is still here. When that moment arrives, something irreplaceable ends. Not admiration, not affection, but first-hand knowledge of how life was actually lived inside that home. And once that knowledge is gone, it cannot be recovered. At the same time, the Presley bloodline continues. The future is now carried by 3 granddaughters, women who inherit a name, a legacy, and a responsibility of extraordinary weight. Unfortunately and sadly, they did not know their grandfather. They did not experience Graceland as a place of daily life. They did not grow up within its rhythms, its pressures, or its private realities. Their connection to Graceland is inherited, not lived. That distinction matters, not as a judgment, but as truth. A place is understood differently depending on how it is known. For those who lived there, Graceland was not an idea. It was a working household, a place of routine and responsibility, of correction and care, of private moments unseen by the public eye. It was where life unfolded when the gates were closed, what the family always called the hill. For later generations, it cannot be that. It becomes symbolic, a place of meaning rather than memory, and that shift is inevitable. What is not inevitable is how the transition is handled, because emotional connection cannot be transferred intact when the experience itself was never lived. You can care deeply, you can feel pride and obligation, you can want to honor what came before, but you cannot remember a life you did not witness, and that difference quietly shapes decisions, whether it is acknowledged or not. This is why the present moment carries such weight, because right now there is still an overlap. There are still family members alive who lived with Elvis for many years, who knew not only the public figure, but the man behind the image. And there are future stewards who will carry his name forward without that lived reference. That overlap is brief, and once it passes, it does not return. The responsible path forward is not emotional, it is deliberate. Living family knowledge must be actively gathered now, while it still exists, and treated as primary historical record, not supplementary recollection. That means listening carefully and respectfully to those who shared daily life with Elvis and documenting details that cannot be reconstructed later. How the household functioned, how decisions were made, who held authority, who steadied him, who corrected him, and how pressure was absorbed and managed away from public view. These details are not incidental. They are the texture of truth. When this is done properly, the future becomes clearer. Those who inherit stewardship, including the granddaughters, are no longer asked to feel what they never lived. Instead, they are giving something far more valuable, a recorded foundation of lived reality upon which responsibility can rest, not assumption, not interpretation, but knowledge. This is how transitions are honored, not by denying the passage of time, and not by allowing living memory to quietly fade, but by recognizing the moment we are in and acting before it closes. Because once the people who lived with Elvis are gone, the opportunity is gone with them. And history will not ask whether it was comfortable to preserve that truth. It will only show whether it was done. So I'm not speaking now as a commentator, and I'm not speaking as a critic. I am speaking as someone who knows how easily truth slips away when time is allowed to pass unchecked. Everything I have said comes from one simple place. I am holding my heart out in my hands now, not in anger, not in accusation, but in hope. Hope that someone will listen before silence becomes permanent. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for listening. Until next time, God bless.
What happens next matters, and the time to listen is not endless.